Hey everybody, for today we're going to be doing a Bible topic study on capitalism. Why capitalism is less than the ideal model, we could say that, for running a country. Now, before we begin, let me let you guys know I'm not a communist. Don't believe in socialism or communism. I don't believe in socialism or communism either. They have their own problems, which I think I discussed in another video. So I got 6 points as to why capitalism is bad. Um, We reading out my book, Bible verses for Born Again Believers, Volume 2. Let's see here. Point one. At the heart, I'll be reading sections of this book. At the heart of capitalism is the competitive nature. The goal of capitalism is to make more money, no matter the cost. Big businesses could care less if by them putting up their superstore in a small town would cause a mom and pop shop to close down. The less competition for them, the better. The less competition for them, the better. Yeah. So yeah, money is the name of the game. They don't care about. It's like a selfish endeavor for them for a lot of businesses. Exodus 23:4 and 5 say, if thou meet thy enemy's ox or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again. If thou seest the ass of him that hateth thee lying under his burden, and wouldst forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him. So the Bible's telling you about love your enemy, and or look, if you see your enemy's ass in a ditch or what, or enemy's ox or ass going astray, bring it back to them. It's not like that with big businesses. They do not care about the prospering of other businesses. They're focused solely on themselves. Point two, though this certainly cannot be applied to every business owner, I am assuming most of the owners of these big corporations are atheists, agnostics, or pagan idolaters who trust that their wealth will protect them from disaster or give them the comfort and fulfillment. What does the scripture say about that? Job 31:24 through at 28. If I had made gold my hope, or have said to the fine gold, thou art my confidence, if I rejoiced because my wealth was great, and because mine hand had gotten much, if I beheld the sun when it shined, or the moon walking in brightness, and my heart hath been secretly enticed, or my mouth hath kissed my hand, that this also were an iniquity to be punished by the judge, for I should have denied the God that is above. Okay? Proverbs 38 and 39. Proverbs 30, verse 8 and 9. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Lest I be fool and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal, and take the name of my God in vain. The rich tend to forget God. Not all, but a lot of them do. Habakkuk 2:9. Woe to them that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, and that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Let's see here. Matthew 6:24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he would hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. All right. Some translations say money, if I'm not mistaken. James 5:1-3. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Anyway, yeah. That's 2 points we got there. Point 3 out of 6. Planned obsolescence and intentionally poisoning food. Wealthy corporations make products that they know will break in a short amount of time, just so the customer will have to come back and buy more. Then there is the food and drug industry, to put it quite briefly, either profit off the sickness of the customer or don't do anything about their products causing sickness. I'll stop there. There's some verses. He that oppresseth the poor, to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. So it's oppression of the poor to increase riches. And 1 Timothy 6:10, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Oh, if you see me pause to say a quick prayer, I deal with intrusive thoughts. I don't know if you guys knew that. Point 4. I don't know if I don't know how much my other videos have you guys seen, but I deal with intrusive thoughts all the time, so I might pray or something while I'm trying to read these to combat the negative thoughts. Point 4. The part that I want to mention here is how it says that they falsify the balances by deceit. Then it goes on to talk of God's judgment. This happens all the time in our culture with inflation and deceptive packaging. The product will say something like 20% more free, but what they don't tell you is that the product is just the size it was like a couple of years ago. And in the last few months, they have been shrinking that product. So it's, you seem like you're getting more. That's because they've been recently shrinking the product. Now they're going temporarily. They may temporarily big size it used to be. Or how about product containers that are like 10 or 20% product and 80 to 90% packaging? But you don't know that because the label is hiding the extra space. This is plain deceit to get more of your money while giving you less in return. Amos 8:4-8. Hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land to fail, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat? Making the ephod small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. That we may buy the poor for silver, and the needy for the pair of shoes, and sell the refuse of the wheat. The Lord hath sworn by the excellency of Jacob, surely I will never forget any of their works. Shall not the land tremble for this, and every one mourn that dwelleth therein? And it shall rise up wholly as a flood, and it shall be cast out and drowned as by the flood of Egypt. Point 5, we're almost done here. I'm going to sum up really quickly. Point 5, another problem that I see with capitalism is the massive super uneven distribution of wealth in society. We have very, very, very few people in control of the vast majority of the world's wealth, with billions of people in lower or at best middle class. There is such widespread poverty in the world, and so many people struggle to make ends meet, let alone help others. Isaiah 5:8. Woe to them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. 2 Corinthians 8:14-15. But by an equality, that now at this time your abundance may be a supply for their want, and their abundance also may be a supply for your want, that there may be equality. Now this is addressing believers, also generosity giving amongst believers. As it is written, he that had gathered much had nothing over, and he that had gathered little had no lack. 1 Timothy 6:8-9. Having food and raiment, let us therewith be content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and to many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. James 5:5. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. And the last point I want to cover today. One of the problems with a relatively few people in charge of the vast majority of wealth, and as such as has these huge corporations hiring thousands of employees, is the ample chance of these employers taking advantage of its workers. I'm not saying all employers do this, or even most, but I'm sure it does happen. If we lived under the distribution model where every family had their own land and resources in which to live, in which to own their own business and provide for their family, then this wouldn't be such an issue, I don't think. Malachi 3:5. And I will come near to you to judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the adulterers, and against false swearers, and against those that oppress the hireling in his wages, the widow and the fatherless, and that turn aside the stranger from his right. And fear not me, saith the Lord of hosts. James 5:4. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabbath. A prime example of the problem with capitalism is Walmart, the high cost of low living. I'm not gonna lie and say I don't. I'm not gonna lie and say I don't shop at Walmart. I do. I don't make a whole lot of money. I kind of got it to survive. Survive. It's really hard to make it ends me otherwise. But I should highly suggest you watch this documentary and see some of the shady practices how Walmart treats their workers and other negative aspects of Walmart. Well, I appreciate you guys sticking with me and watching the whole video. I'll see you in the next one, and thank you. Adios.